All right, well, welcome back. Been a minute. Why has it been so long? Well, after GGBO wrapped up, I'll be completely honest with you, I was a little bit relieved. You know, I mean, I got done in time, I got all my filming done in time, I got everything posted in time, and I needed a minute to depressurize from the pressure of trying to get that done, first off. But second off, I teach electricians classes that are good for continuing education credit. And in several of the states around the area, they're required to have a certain number of CEUs to renew their licenses every cycle. Well, state of Iowa requires them to have 18 credits of continuing education every 3 years in order to renew their licenses. And December 31st is when they have to have all 18 hours done or they can't renew their licenses, which is coming up here real shortly. And this year, or this cycle, I guess, has been significantly more intense than usual because a lot of guys couldn't get their training done in 2020 and in 2021 due to COVID protocols that their businesses had in place or things like that. They weren't allowed to go out and attend public classes and stuff like that. Their management wouldn't allow them to. So now there is an incredible amount of people who still need to get their hours in, and here we are like 6 weeks from the end of the year, and Iowa is not allowing them any easement on this. It's either get your hours done or retake your test for your license, and that test is a monster. So yeah, I've been ridiculously busy, and it hasn't given me a lot of time to get on camera. Now, I have done several projects in this time, but most of the projects I did really didn't feel like something I wanted to film on a guitar building channel. I mean, they're woodworking, they're fun, they're interesting if you're into that, but most guitar builders want to see a little bit of arts and artistic craftsmanship along with construction, and most of what I did was pretty much rough sawing lumber and you know, measure, cut, screw, hammer, glue, put it together, not real artistic, if you will. So first thing I did, of course, I had talked about this on the live streams in the chats and stuff like that with Crimson, was that I was going to build a workbench. Now, when I first said I wanted to build a workbench, I had several ideas in place. The first of which was to attach it to this wall over here and just take a whole bunch of 2x4s on end, stack them all together, drill a long hole through all of them and run all thread through them and bolt them together and bolt them to the wall. And the other idea I had was something similar to that but have it freestanding. And I asked Ben which of those two options he thought was good, and he pretty much said neither. He said look into torsion box workbenches. So I took his advice and came up with this. I found the plans for this workbench on Woodsmith Plans, and it is a torsion box workbench. So basically what you have going on inside here is you have a lattice work comprised of 2x4s with 1/2-inch plywood supports in between those 2x4 stringers. So it's a very solid top. There's no flex to the top whatsoever as far as pushing down on, putting weight on it. Because of the 2x4 stringers in it, I was able to drill dog holes in several places through it. As of right now, I only have a front vise, so some of these aren't really functional until I get some more of the tabletop clamps or an end bench vise or something like that. But I have already used the dogs in line with my front vise a ton for the few things I've done since I built the bench. Now, the frame of the bench is done 2x6s, 2x4s, but it's very sturdy. It was built with a tongue and mortise concept on the corners, so this is incredibly sturdy. I mean, I'm 335 pounds, and I mean it's tough to move around. It's sturdy. I've already done like hand planing with it and stuff, and I have no problem with this thing, you know, jerking back and forth as I'm planing. Like that thing, I don't know if you watched my guitar build video, when I was trying to hand plane the one thing, it looked like that table was going to dance out from underneath it. This thing doesn't move at all. I love it. It's great. So this was a very solid suggestion from Ben. It's actually two pieces. The top has threaded inserts screwed into the underside and 3/8" bolts that go up into the top, securing the top to the base. So if I had to take it apart to move it, I'd just undo those 4 3/8" bolts and I can remove the top from the base and take it as two pieces. It has a slat shelf underneath here. All those slats can pop out, although we did a really good job of cutting and snug fitting it, so I didn't have to nail them in, which is nice, because if I ever did need to move it, popping all those out of there would probably relieve about 25-30 pounds of weight to the bottom. The end vise, face vise, front vise. I got a 9" vise from Rockler. Or did I get it from Lee Valley? I think I got it from Lee Valley. So I got the front vise here. It's a 9" vise. I used Poplar 2x10s. It's one of those that you can slide in, slide out, and then adjust tightness, which is really nice for me because I don't want to sit here and try and reel in fish all day long. Okay. But using Poplar, you know, not quite as soft as pine, but still not so aggressively hard that it's gonna mar anything that I clamp into it. I went with the pipe bomb accessory. Don't freak out, YouTube, it's not really a pipe bomb. I see a lot of guys make them out of wood, okay? And to be completely honest with you, I don't know. Wood just does not seem as sturdy to me as rigid steel. So I took a 3/4 inch RMC pipe, rigid metal conduit, and some pipe caps, and made a pipe handle. So gets the job done, works well, doesn't suffer from cracking or anything like that. So that's where I went with that. Second project I did, Mrs. Unit has been bugging me about building her a stand for her hot glue gun. So we had an arts and crafts day, and we built a stand for her hot glue gun, and it holds her long glue sticks and her short glue sticks, and it keeps her clear glue sticks and her colored glue sticks separate, and it supports her hot glue gun so she doesn't have to set it on the table and then rest her arm on it and get a blister. So we built that.
Thank you very much for that.
Yeah. And then we also built a puzzle table. One of the things that we have done traditionally for better than a decade now is when we get to Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, we usually take that week off. I make sure I'm home, she makes sure she's home, and we watch movies, we have movie marathons, we eat a whole bunch of unhealthy stuff, and we put puzzles together. We do have one table that a 1,000-piece puzzle sort of fits on, but we have a couple of 3,000-piece puzzles that table will not accommodate. So we built a table that was 48 by 56 inches and had some underfolding legs that I got from Rockler. And it's great. It folds up. It's a nice big table made it out of pine with the same finished half-inch ply that I made my bench top out of, and it works great. It's a nice table. It's not rickety. It's nice and sturdy. So yeah. Anyway, on to the real reason that most of you are here: guitar building. Yeah, I haven't done that for a little bit, right? I kind of took a break after GGBO 22 and would really like to get into getting something going. Now, you notice I'm not sweating through my t-shirt today. Some people ask me, it's like, geez, it gets so hot in Iowa in the summer. Are your winters fairly mild? And I tell people, no, we get everything from the front porch of hell to the Arctic tundra around here. We get the worst of both worlds. I've seen it where there are days in January and February where Iowa is colder than Anchorage, Alaska. Yeah, and I've seen times where Iowa, with the heat index, is neck and neck with Las Vegas for heat, and our humidity's way higher than theirs. So, yeah, it gets rough on both extremes here. So, one of the shops is in the garage, of course. How are we dealing with that? Well, I got a small propane space heater. And yeah, you can show them that. And I don't have it running right now because it's loud, really loud. I mean, it kind of sounds like a small jet engine, okay? But it does the job. I mean, the other day it was like 24 degrees in the garage here, and within 45 minutes it was 50 degrees in the shop here. So, I mean, it's a great little unit. I like it a lot. So it should at least help me facilitate building through the winter months when it's just miserable cold outside without having to be bundled to the hilt. Now, I started thinking, what am I going to do for GGBO 2023? That started going through my mind. And I had this guitar in mind to do for GGBO 2023. But I've noticed an interesting trend. People like unique when it comes to GGBO. If you make a Telecaster or a Les Paul for GGBO, people are going to watch it, you're going to get likes, you probably aren't going to get votes. And you definitely aren't going to win. Unique is what wins. Great film work and great building. I want to build a Les Paul. I said that right at the end of GGBO 2022. What's my next project? A Les Paul. And after that, I'm starting a Les Paul. Imagine that, me and a Les Paul. And then I started thinking, well, maybe I'll save that for 2023. And then the other part of my brain said, if you build a Les Paul for GGBO, you're not even competing. You're doing that for your own personal proclivities and nothing else. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'd like to compete in the next one. I'd like to compete. So what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And I've got a really, really off-the-wall idea for GGBO 2023. It's still an electric guitar. I'm not getting that crazy, but it's different, okay? It's something you've probably never seen before. If you did see it, it was photoshopped, okay? So what am I going to do until GGBO 2023? I'm not going to just sit around and sit on my hands and wait. So I'm going to do the Les Paul now. So
what?
Here's what I'm going with. All right. A while back, the evil American guitar parts supplier, which will remain nameless, but y'all know who I'm talking about, had a sale on mahogany guitar blanks. Okay? Like 99 bucks for 10 of them, which is a ripoff for most people. I mean, most guitar blanks are way more expensive than that, just by themselves, 10 of them. Now, of course, they're not all even and stuff like that, so they're gonna have to be planed, they're gonna have to be flattened, it's gonna have to all come together that way, but I'm thinking that for the back of the body. And I know you're thinking, good grief, that's only, what, an inch? An inch for the back of the body. Well, I have a huge maple top for this. Now, I asked Ben a while back, and should I saw this again and make 2 tops out of it, or should I just go with 1? The thing is, I want to do a pretty healthy carve on this thing. And I want that carve to look really great, have a really decently steep carve to it without blowing through the maple. And I'm afraid if I quarter saw this again, I'm going to blow through it, and I don't want to blow through it. So I'm going to make a huge maple cap on this thing. Now, this is the most gorgeous maple I've ever seen in my life, and I got it for a steal. Watch eBay, okay? Every once in a while, a golden nugget drops on eBay. You look at this top, I'm gonna put a little bit of naphtha on it so you can see it. You look at eBay, and a top like this would normally run you about $300 to $400. And I got it for a fraction of that because somebody was in a hurry to move it. Somebody needed money. And this top is freaking stellar. I mean, it's got lacing in it. It's got quilting in it. It's just freaking beautiful. Okay, so that's gonna be incredible. So that'll be the body. Now, it is dark, okay? It's not really blonde maple. So, it does limit what you'd be able to do with it as far as stain and stuff like that. But it's so naturally beautiful, I think I might just oil that and leave it, because it's just incredible. So there's the body. Now for the neck. What I intend to do for the neck, I saw several guys do variations of this where they're doing a multi-ply neck. Okay? What I'm thinking about doing for my multi-ply neck is maple. Okay? Did you get that?
Do you need me to zoom in on it?
Well, I'd like you to at least be aiming this direction.
I'm getting that whole thing.
Okay. So what I'm intending to do here is maple, wenge, or wenge, however you say it. Okay.
I like that one's pretty.
And Purple Heart. I got this piece of Purple Heart for a steal too, because it's got just a little bit of busted end on it, but I'm not using that end anyway, so I don't worry about it. So I'm going to make a multiply neck out of those, and then my ebony fretboard. Now again, this is a thick chunk of ebony. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to cut that, quarter saw that, and make 2 fretboards out of it, because that's pretty thick for a piece of ebony. Just for giggles here. Yeah, that's. And I think Ben said you usually go about 7 to 8 millimeters for a fretboard, which is 16. So if I use a thin bandsaw blade, I think I can rip that and get 2 fretboards out of it. But I love the freckling, the figuring in that ebony right there. I just think that is sharp. I know a lot of guys just like good old dark black, jet black ebony fretboards, and I'm with you. I like them too, but when it's got that kind of a figure to it, that's just stunning. I love it. So I'm gonna go with, you know, traditional Les Paul. I'm not gonna do anything silly like have a Floyd Rose double locking tremolo system on it, and I'm not gonna have, you know, active pickups in it, and I'm not gonna put anything obscure on it. I might put a 24 fretboard on it and go 25.5 scale length. We'll see. But anyway, I'm not gonna do anything super obscure. But that's I think where the journey is going to take us. That's the next goal here. And, you know, I'm still going to be busy through the end of the year. I'm not going to lie to you. So my videos are not going to be coming every week. I know, you know, through GGBO I was trying to post weekly. That is not going to happen until probably at least January. Maybe even a little bit later than that. But I will periodically be posting videos and going through, you know, a build series again on this. But yeah, there's the update from my world, and hopefully you'll be back to witness the next evolution of big unit guitars. And until next time, happy building, happy construction, happy guitar fun. Whatever you're doing with your life, make it fun. Do the best you can, and try to make it through the holiday season without losing your minds. All right, take care.